And a pleasant good morning to you, everybody. Welcome to the winter home of the Anaheim Angels of California, Tempe Diablo Stadium. We're in the 35 and over Cactus Division. We're in Cactus 2 as the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League is on the air. And today it's the Tucson White Sox taking on the Minnesota North Stars. Jeff Lowry with you for the play-by-play action here. It's a beautiful morning. Temperatures in the low 80s. Of course, we'll be up into the mid-90s before this day is over. Just a gorgeous day for baseball as we look down at home plate at the two managers. The man on the right in the white uniforms representing the Minnesota North Stars is Matt Carter, and Paul Warman will represent the White Sox. They're coming off a 9-6 victory over the Oklahoma Vipers. They come in with a record of 2-1, while Minnesota comes in even up in this 2020 33rd annual event at 2 wins and 2 losses. Minnesota will represent the home team, so Chicago will get first at bats. And we will have more here on APN Sports in our live stream coverage of the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. All right, welcome back here to Tempe Diablo Stadium. The Minnesota North Stars taking the field for the first time here in the stadium. This is their first trip to the Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. And on the mound is going to be Brandon Casa del Calvo. Throws in the mid-70s, fastball, curve, changeup. His curveball almost looks like a slider, so it might be more of a slurve for a lack of a better term. And so the right-hander will toe the rubber here today for Matt Carter's team, and he will be facing Chris Mata to lead things off for the Tucson White Sox, who come in with a record of 2-1. Ernie Alvarez will bat second. Roland Regoza will bat in the third position with Alex Ledesma, Hernandez, Verduzco, Washington, Garcia, Perez, Bajarano, and Corey Evans, the final hitter, in the 11th position. So the teams, at least the Minnesota North Stars, making their final preparations for this game. This is a pivotal game for both teams. If Minnesota wins, that would guarantee them a .500 finish and a shot at a playoff. If they lose today, they would definitely have to win their next game. On the other side, a victory for the White Sox would put them at 3-1. And then really, I think, to make the playoffs, of course, anything can happen, but to win one of your next two after today's game, that's probably going to put you into the playoffs. So a little less pressure on Tucson. Nonetheless, this is a very pivotal game for both teams. So we're getting set to go here as Chris Mata is getting set as the leadoff hitter for the White Sox. Tempe Diablo Stadium, this ballpark technically opened up in the late 60s for the Seattle Pilots, a team that lasted just 1 year at the major league level and then moved to Milwaukee to become the Brewers. And we're ready to go here from Tempe Diablo Stadium. 340 down the left field line. It's 420 to center. The scoreboard is about 410 plus. They used to have those marked, and 360 down the right field line. The first pitch of the contest is taken low for ball one, and this game is underway. Our start time is 9:06 a.m. on this October 21st, 2020. And here's a broken bat ground ball to foul territory, and tell you what, that just completely shattered the bat of Chris Mata, the outstanding leadoff hitter for this Tucson White Sox team. The defense is led by John Schultz at shortstop and manager at first base, and Matt Carter. This is the first year that this team has been in existence, the Minnesota North Stars, that is, and their first year, of course, at the Men's Senior Baseball League. 1-1 pitch is swung through and missed, and the count is 1-2 strikes. Ernie Alvarez and Rolando Raygoza will follow here for the Chi Sox. Pitch and a swing and a miss, and a blazing fastball up in the strike zone, and Mata goes down swinging on 3 straight strikes. So there's one down here in the top of the first inning. Ernie Alvarez, the batter, and he launches one down the left field line, and that's out of play, foul ball. No balls and 1 strike to the second place hitter. And talking to Paul Warman, he mentioned the fact that this is one of the key guys that has to get on base with tremendous regularity. No balls and 2 strikes is now the count. 1 out here in the top of the first inning, no score. Tucson White Sox in the all-black tops and socks and the gray pants. Pitch is lined foul again. So the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes with Raygoza on deck. The right-hander winds, kicks, and fires, and that one is in the dirt. Well, we're coming to you from the concourse of Tempe Diablo Stadium, and occasionally you'll hear some of the golf carts whizzing by our camera well here on the ballpark. 1-2 pitch, and that one off the end of the bat. Nice play by the pitcher, and Brandon will take it over to Carter at first base, and there's 2 down. That play goes 1-3 if you're scoring at home. And the third base hitter coming up here for the White Sox, Rolando Raygoza. First time these two teams have met.
Now coming up to bat, number 3, Rolando Raygoza.
Hard hitter with a slightly open stance at the plate. Pitch. And that one is a called strike right across the letters, and it's 0-1. No score. We're in the top of the first. 2 out. That's inside for a ball. The right-hander winds and deals. And the high heat. Well, so far, Brandon Casa del Calvo, the starting pitcher here for Minnesota, has been staying up in the strike zone, and the White Sox hitters have been very tempted to swing at those pitches. That's outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think if they're going to have success at the plate, they're going to have to lay off those pitches. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. That was up in the strike zone. And a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the first inning. We head now to the bottom half of inning number 1. Tucson nothing, and Minnesota coming up. All right, welcome back to the ballpark, Tempe Diablo Stadium. You're getting a look at the southpawer Kevin Patrick. Patrick throws in the low 70s. He features a fastball, curve, slider, and a native of Tucson, Arizona. Tucson went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning as Brandon Casa del Calvo struck out 2 hitters. And let's take a look at the Minnesota North Stars starting lineup. Leading off at second base, Ryan Pohanka. Mike Lippert will do the catching. He'll bat second. Dan Casaza is in center field. He'll bat third. Hitting in the fourth spot, the third baseman, The Rock, Mike Wayrock. At first base and batting in the fifth spot is manager Matt Carter. Priamo Reyes, Nunez, McLean, Shaner, and Moselle will round out the Minnesota North Stars, who come in here with a record of 2-2. Bottom half of the first inning. Jeff Lowry with you, along with Justin Maxim from the winter home of the California Angels. Pohanka is hoping to really have a big tournament and be the main table setter for this Minnesota North Stars team. And the breaking pitch is in there for a strike, and that was a good one. Ready with the next pitch. And lifted in the air to center field. That's a long run, but that ball's going to be caught for out number 1. So a nice running catch out there in center field by Michael Perez. Now the backstop of the Minnesota North Stars is Mike Lippert. Mike takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Bottom half of inning number 1 here from Tempe Diablo Stadium. And that's ball 4. So we got our first base runner of the ball game, and that belongs to Minnesota, Mike Lippert, and now the center fielder, Dan Casaza. No score here in the bottom half of inning number 1.
Now batting, number 79, Dan Casaza.
Left-handed hitter with a runner at first base and a modest lead. The left-hander delivers, and that one's going to be in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike on the third place hitting center fielder. As we mentioned, I mean, it has been really hot in the Valley of the Sun we broke about every record for temperatures over 100, temperatures over 110. And even though the start of this tournament's still very hot, high 90s, right now our game time temperature is 75 degrees. Runner at first with one out here in the home half of the first. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Dan Cazaza with the rock on deck, Way Rock, big number 7. Short lead at first, pitch, swing and a miss, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with one out here in the bottom of the first. And here's a ball slapped down to third. They're going to go to second. And did they get the out? They got the fielder's choice, and I don't know how. That'll go 5-4. That'll erase the catcher, Mike Lippert, at second base. So a 2 out in the inning. Here's Wayrock. Runner remains at first base, but now 2 out. And there goes the runner. The pitch is taken low for a ball. Here's the throw down to second base, and it won't be in time, and that's going to be a stolen base. Well, our first thievery act here in this game belongs to the Minnesota North Stars as they swipe the base behind the center fielder, Dan Cazaza. And so they got a runner in scoring position with 2 out and the hard-hitting Mike Rock. And now the ball skips away from the catcher, and that will move the runner up 90 feet to third. Of course, Major League Baseball's World Series got underway yesterday, a win for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Best of 7, first time that Tampa Bay and the Dodgers have been in a World Series together, only the second for Tampa Bay. And now the count runs 3 balls and no, I checked that, 2 balls, 1 strike. The pass ball must have been called a strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike on the cleanup hitter for the North Stars. Ironically, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, it's their first, they're going for their first world championship since 1988. And here's a ball hammered out into deep left field, but that ball's going to be caught. And the side is retired as we head now to the top of the second inning. From Tempe Diablo Stadium on APN Video Sports and APNvideo.com. No score. All right, welcome back to the ballpark, Tempe Diablo Stadium, as we head now to the top of the second inning. White Sox went down in order 1, 2, 3 with a couple of strikeouts against starting pitcher Brandon Casa de Calvo. Ledesma, Hernandez, and Verduzco will start things off for the Tucson White Sox. And here's a drive in the deep center field, hit well. But Dan is there to make the catch, and there's one down. So 4 up and 4 down for the White Sox of Tucson. Well, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Tucson comes in with a record 2 wins, 1 loss. They're coming off a victory 9-6 over the Oklahoma Vipers, while Minnesota comes in with a record. They're even at 2-2. Larry Hernandez will be the next batter. Takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. Fastball a bit inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Larry Hernandez, hard-hitting, fifth-place hitter in the lineup for the White Sox. Casa de Calvo delivers, and this time he gets that slider over for a strike, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Top of the second inning, no score. And it's 3-1. Leadoff fly out by Alex Ledesma starts this top of the second inning as time is called by Larry Hernandez. Adrian Verduzco is on deck. Popped him up and playable on the infield. Third base side. The third baseman has it, and that is going to be out number 2.
Now coming up to bat, number 20, Adrian Verduzco.
So a fly ball to center field. And a pop up to the third baseman brings up Adrian Verduzco. 2 out. And that's going to be a pop up out of play, and the count quickly to no balls and 2 strikes on the 6th place right handed hitting Adrian Verduzco. Wind the pitch. He struck him out swinging to retire the side. 6 up, 6 down, and the third punch out of the day for Casa del Calvo. And at the end of an inning and a half of baseball, still no score. All right, we head now to the home half of inning number 2, and the manager of the Minnesota North Stars, Matt Carter, will lead things off, followed by Priamo Reyes and Arthur Nunez. No score, top or bottom of the second inning. Carter, a big, strong left-handed hitter. And the second inning of work for Kevin Patrick, who walked the batter in the first and faced 4 and pitched, of course, a shutout inning. I'm talking to the teammates, some of the teammates of Kevin Patrick. Looks like he's throwing pretty hard out there. Said he's probably low 70s. I would have to say at least mid 70s as he bounces that one up there. That previous pitch was a fastball down and in on the left-hander Matt Carter, who leads things off here in the bottom of the second inning. Three balls and one strike. That's in there. Good fastball. That was a little get-me-over fastball. And the count runs 3 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see what Matt Carter can do as this game's looking for its first base hit of the pitch. And that one fouled straight back, and we'll do the 3-2 count again. Yeah, I was talking about the World Series matchup between the Dodgers and the Rays. First time ever those two teams have met in the Fall Classic. I think it's really interesting the fact that the Dodgers, who have had such a tremendous payroll over the years, has not won a championship since 1988. That's outside ball 4. So Matt Carter is aboard. That is the second walk issued by Kevin Patrick out of Tucson, Arizona. And so with one out here in the bottom half of the second inning, Priamo Reyes will dig in for the Minnesota North Stars. A slight breeze kind of blowing in from right center field. Big open stance for Priamo, and the first pitch to him is in there, strike 1 called. No balls, 1 strike, leadoff man aboard, and Matt Carter at first base. Swing and a foul, and quickly 0-2. In fact, as we got a little meeting of the minds out there, you know, Major League Baseball, when you talk about teams and the lack of championships, of course, the New York Yankees with the most, 26 or 27, I lost count, by far the most. And then you got the Dodgers and the Giants and the Cardinals fall in behind the Yankees. But, I mean, you look at half the teams in Major League Baseball as the 0-2 pitch is looped out into shallow center field, and that ball's going to drop in for a base hit. Carter will stay at second base. That's the first hit of the ball game. And the North Stars are off and running here in the bottom half of inning number 2 with runners at first and second and nobody out. And I mention this so many times as Arthur Nunez comes to the plate. You look at the city of Chicago, and dating back to the first year of the World Series, which was 1903. Now you're talking about the White Sox and the Cubs, and this is, 2020? So we've had, 117, 118 World Series. And those two teams have combined for like 4 in 200 plus years, 240, almost 240 years of existence, the city of Chicago has been quite anemic when talking about Titletown. You can't call them Titletown. 2 on with nobody out. That's a nice looking fastball right there, perfectly placed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Arthur Nunez with runners at first and second, nobody out. This Minnesota team not wanting to play small ball early on, swinging away. And the count will go to 2 balls, 2 strikes. And even the city of New York with the Mets and the Yankees, if you just go back over the last, well, the Mets have only won 1 or 2 world championships in their existence, which started in '61. Slider down, full count. No out with runners occupying first and second. No score, bottom of the second inning. If you go just over the last 20 years, the Yankees have won 2 and the Mets have not won 1, though they've been to the World Series in 2015. That's a swing and a miss. And that's the first strikeout of the day as Nunez goes down for Kevin Patrick. So there's 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning, and the batter now is Chandler McLean. Here's a high drive, playable in right field. This should get Carter over to third easily as the catch is made by the Tucson right fielder. The throw comes in on the relay. So that's out number 2 as McLean going after the first pitch. Skies 1 to right field. And now the batter is going to be Mike Shanor. Mike Shanor. Another left-handed hitter in the lineup for Matt Carter. Runners are at first and third. There goes the runner from first to second, and that'll be defensive indifference. No stolen base. And now Mike with a chance to drive in a couple if he can get a base hit. Second and third with 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Strike called. Well, the one thing about Patrick so far in the game, the southpawer on the mound here for the White Sox, he has made definitely some quality pitches. That's out of play. Hoping to give Garrett Moselle, the third baseman, on deck. And a swing and a miss, and he has been ruled out, and the side is retired. But in the inning, a couple of base runners, a walk, a single, but they were left stranded. After 2, no score. This is the 33rd Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. All right, we're back here as we go to the top half of the third inning, and, well, a pretty good pitcher's duel so far between Kevin Patrick of the White Sox and this gentleman right here, Brandon Casa de Calvo. White Sox will send up Butch Washington, Joel Garcia, and Michael Perez. In the air and on the infield, the first baseman manager, Carter, will corral it, and that's out number one. So 2 pitches, 1 out. Joel Garcia will be the batter. Just a reminder, if you'd like your 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League World Series on video, go to apnvideo.com. That's apnvideo.com. First pitch is in there for a called strike, and a well-placed pitch that time by Casa de Calvo, and it's 0-1 on Garcia. 1 out, nobody on. We're in the top of the third. Here's a rocket to the shortstop, and he does a nice job staying down on the ball, and Schultz's first throw is in time, 2 down. Four pitches, 2 outs. And Casa de Calvo being very efficient here in this top of the third inning. No score between the White Sox and the black. They're at the plate with Michael Perez and the all-white and the light blue Minnesota North Stars. Ball 1. Slap foul, and the count goes to 1-1. Minnesota with a 2-2 record. And we mentioned that this is really a pivotal game for both clubs. Here's a high chopper, and Schlotz once again, and did not get him. And the speed and the outright hustle, and Michael Perez ruins the no-hitter here in the third.
Now batting, number 22,
Rafael
Rafael Bejarano.
Bejarano will bat with 2 out and a runner at first base, and I would imagine with the speed of Perez, he might be taking off on a steal attempt here, either this pitch or the next one. That's a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Rafael Bejarano. Corey Evans hoping for a chance on deck. Breaking ball and a good one, 0-2. Now let's see if Casa de Calvo will come back with the high heat. He has struck out 3. He has had strikeouts through the first 2 innings. And he did. He exactly came back with that high fastball, but left it a little too high. Small strike zone here for Rafael. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch way inside, and it's 2-2. Well, he's thrown 2 straight fastballs. Let's see if he comes back with that slurve. The 2-2 pitch with 2 out, and it's hammered foul. "33rd Annual Men's Senior Baseball League" here on APN Sports. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Runner goes, and it's line foul again. Well, a special thanks to Steve Sigler, the president of the league, and Tom Prendergast, and all the outstanding personnel that makes this truly one of the great tournaments in our country. Only 196 teams came down this year. Normally, it's over 320, and I think they've even had 345 one year. That's a swing and a miss. That's the high heat, and the side is retired. No runs, one hit, and one left on. And we'll have more from the Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series in just a moment.
Batting number 77, Garrett Mozell.
Garrett Mozell starting things off, home half of inning number 3. Jeff Lowry back here from Tempe Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. 78 degrees, our game time temperature. Mostly sunny skies. A right-handed hitter, the final hitter in the lineup for Matt Carter's Minnesota-based team. Bouncing ball to the right side, and the quick throw to first is in time, and that's the first out of the inning. So Nara with the play and getting it over to his first baseman, Ray Goza.
Now coming at the bat, number 55.
We go back to the top of the order. Here's Polhanka, the second baseman who flied to center field his first and only time up. 1 out, no score, bottom half of the 3rd inning. This is the 5th game of pool play action for the White Sox, or rather for the Minnesota North Stars. Minnesota coming in with a record of 2 wins, 2 losses in their first ever MSBL World Series. Right-handed hitter against Kevin Patrick in his 3rd inning of work, the starting pitcher for, keep wanting to call him Chicago, Tucson. And the count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike on Ryan Polhanka. Mike Lippert is on deck for the North Stars, the pitch. Now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. In this pivotal game, we're in the 35 and over Cactus Division II, and that's high, ball 4. 3rd walk issued by Kevin Patrick. Mike Lippert drew a walk back in the 1st inning. Was erased on a fielder's choice. No score, bottom half of inning number 3. Outfield playing really somewhat deep on Mike Lippert. And the first pitch to the backstop of the Minnesota North Stars is in there for a called strike. No balls and one strike. That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a line drive. This ball's going to drop in for a base hit. So runners are at first and second as Lippert lines a single to left field. That is hit number 2 for the Minnesota North Stars, and the batter's going to be center fielder Dan Casaza.
Number 79, Dan Casaza.
Dan hit into a fielder's choice. He also stole second base, but was left stranded in that first inning. And he squares the bunt and takes one way upstairs, ball 1. I'll tell you what, that ball simply handcuffed, I think, the catcher, no doubt about it, and manager Paul Warman. He did a nice job and then kind of got tangled up with our home plate umpire. 1 ball and no strikes on the left-handed hitter with runners at first and second and 1 out. Bottom half of the third inning, no score. North Stars batting in the all-white with the light blue lettering, the pitch. And that one's going to drop in for a called strike. And the count is even at 1-1. No runs, 2 hits, and so far 3 stranded for the North Stars. Tucson, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And that one just missing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Man, what a beautiful morning from Tempe Diablo Stadium. Like this special thanks go out to John Lipinski for setting up today's broadcast. And we'd like to welcome all of you from the old Pueblo in Tucson, Arizona, and all of you from the land of many, many lakes, Minnesota. Time called as Warmer, the manager of this White Sox team, out to talk to his lefty, Kevin Patrick, who has struck out 1. He has walked 3, and he has given up 2 base hits through 2 1/3 inning. Two balls and 1 strike on Dan Casaza, who is trying to push across the game's first run. The pitch. It gets by the catcher. That'll be a pass ball, unfortunately, on Paul Warman. And now runners are at second and third with 1 out. Well, we mentioned that Kevin Patrick, I think this is a guy that's probably throwing more mid-70s in terms of his fastball velocity. Features a fastball, changeup, slider. Now the infield is drawn in on the, well, now they are moving back. The first baseman is drawn in. The second baseman will concede the run, so too the shortstop, but the corners are in, especially at third base. And that's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded for the first time in this game. 4th walk issued by Kevin Patrick. And here's the rock.
Not batting, number 7, Mike Wayrout.
A golden opportunity for the North Stars to push across the game's first run. Bases loaded, one out. The first pitch is taken low, ball one. You've got Pohanka at third, Lippert at second, and good speed at first with Dan Casaza. Here's a shot, center field. That ball is going to drop in for a base hit. One run is going to score. Here comes Lippert. Here's the throw to the plate, and it's not in time. Now the throw down to second. Here's the runner to third, and it's not in time. Two-run single for Mike Wainrock, and it's 2-0 North Stars. So some clutch hitting by the guy that you expect to drive in runs, your cleanup hitter, Mike Wainrock. And fortunately for Dan Casaza, who got caught between second and third on the throw to the plate, his great speed paid off, and he was able to beat the third baseman to the bag. The third baseman was nowhere near the bag, and it became a foot race, and Dan came up on the winning end. Now Matt Carter, the manager, and first baseman, and he takes ball one. 2-0 Minnesota here in the bottom of the third. So we got some action, and we finally push across a couple of runs here in the bottom half of the third inning. That's a strike called, and no stolen base. As courtesy runner, Garrett Moselle takes second base. Defensive indifference, the ruling. And the cavalry has just arrived as Juan Raygoza has just entered the building for the White Sox. Swing and a miss. Big cut that time on a slow pitch. Truly pulled the string on him. Couple of strikes now on Carter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-0 on a 2-run single by Wainrock of the North Stars. Looking for more as this one lifted out of play. Runners at second and third. Two-two pitch, and it's slapped to the right side. This will score the third run of the inning and the game. As Nara throws high to first base, the run will score. Credit Carter with an RBI. And it is now a 3-0 game in favor of the Minnesota team. So a runner at third and 2 out. Priamo Reyes had a base hit. In fact, the first hit of the ball game in the second inning, and he bats here in the bottom half of what has been a 3-run third inning for the Minnesota North Stars in the all-white uniforms. Kevin Patrick low and away. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike on Reyes. Runner takes his lead at third, the pitch. And I believe he called that one a strike, and it's 1-2. 3-0 Minnesota. But 2 walks in the inning, 4 on the day for Kevin Patrick. And when they say walks will haunt, that is the case. Strike 3 called on an outstanding pitch to retire the side. Caught looking, That is the second strikeout of the day for Patrick, but Minnesota puts 3 up on the board. We head to the 4th inning of play. It's the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. The North Stars lead it 3-0. Well, it was a very successful inning for this Minnesota North Stars team. In the bottom half of inning number 3, they put up 3 runs in the inning, including a 2-run single by Mike the Rock, Wayrock. And here's a high fly ball out into center field, left center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Second hit of the day as Corey Evans starts the inning with only the second hit of the ball game for the Tucson White Sox as we go to the top of the 4th inning. So we go to the top of the order. Here's Chris Mata. He was a strikeout victim, 1 of 4 for Casa del Calvo, who is in his 4th inning of work as the starting pitcher for Tucson. 3-0 North Stars over the White Sox here in the top of the 4th inning. It's very difficult, the one camera, to get these quick throws over to first base, so we apologize. But Matt Carter just saved a throwing error. There goes the runner. Swing, fly ball, deep right center field. And the 2 outfielders collide, and it drops in. Fortunately for the North Stars, as Casaza dropped the ball out there in right center field, runners are only at first and second. That'll be an error on the center fielder. Yeah, you got to see the speed of Dan Casaza on that last one. I mean, he covers a lot of ground. That ball was really in right field and was the right fielder's ball. But the center fielder has the prerogative if he wants to call off anybody, including an infielder coming out. As the first pitch is ball 1 to Ernie Alvarez, who bounced out 1-3 his first time up. 3-0 North Stars, but the tying run is at the plate. And the high heat swung through and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike on the right-handed hitter. Ray Goza is on deck for the White Sox, the 3rd hitter. Good fastball. Perfect unhittable pitch right there. 1-2 the count on Ernie Alvarez, the second place hitter in the lineup for the 2-win, 1-loss White Sox. And the high heat, and they go upstairs again. One down in the inning. That is 5 punch-outs for Brandon Casa de Calvo. Regosa was a strikeout victim. Well, it's almost automatic. If Brandon gets a strike, here's a shot down the left field line, and this ball's going to go to the wall. He hit it a ton. Rolando heading in the second. 1 run will score, and the White Sox are on the board. A long double down the left field line by Rolando Regosa. Runners are now at second and third, and the White Sox now trail it 3-1. I was getting ready to say, as Ledesma comes to the plate, he flied to center field his first time up. If Casa de Calvo, the starting pitcher here for the Minnesota team, gets 2 strikes, is this going to stay in play? It's a tough catch. If he gets 2 strikes on any hitter, they can expect a fastball letter high or higher. I would say 90% of the time, if not every time. So Rolando's RBI double, hit number 3 for the White Sox. No balls and 1 strike on Ledesma. The right-hander winds and fires. Not a bad-looking pitch there, borderline pitch, and it's 1-1. Yeah, I think that got a piece of him. So Ledesma hit by a pitch. And now the bases are loaded. And now the go-ahead run will be at first base for right-handed hitting Larry Hernandez, who popped up to the third baseman back in the second. North Stars lead at 3-1 here. We're in the top of the 4th inning. But the bases are loaded with only 1 man out. And let's see if Brandon Casa de Calvo will be able to work out of this jam. "78 degrees our game time temperature, partly cloudy or partly, I guess it's mostly sunny skies. Breaking pitch in there, that's a called strike. 0-1. Bases are loaded. Mata is at third base. The tying run, Regosa's courtesy runner, and Ledesma, who just got hit by the pitch, is standing near the first base bag. 0-1 pitch is under the knees, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, bases loaded. White Sox trailing by 2, but they got the tying and go-ahead runs on base. And now stepping off the mound, 8-3 was the final score in last night's Game 1 of Major League Baseball's World Series. Clayton Kershaw picking up the victory to even his career mark at 12-12 and an ERA of over 4. Kind of surprising because his regular season ERA just 2.44, the lowest earned run average in the live ball era. Well, right now, Brandon has put himself in a lot of hot water. He's got the bases loaded, 1 out, and trying to protect a 2-run lead. He needed a strike and did not get it. Ball 4, and he's forced in a run. That'll cut the deficit to 3-2. Scoring is Chris Mata. So the bases remain loaded. It is now 3-2, and here is Verduzco. He was a strikeout victim back in the second inning, and the first pitch is ball one, a little high. 5 strikeouts, no walks, a hit batsman for Brandon Casa de Calvo in his 4th inning of work. He'll get the strike called on that one, and it's 1-1. When he is working the right side of the plate, our right side of the plate, from our vantage point, I think he has had better command. Swing and a miss, and there's the high heat once again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Raygozo, his courtesy runner at third. Ledesma at second. Hernandez at first base. The pitch. And it's popped up straight back and playable for the catcher, and he'll come up with a very big second out. So a nice play by the catcher of the Minnesota North Stars, Mike Lippert.
Now batting, number 51.
That is a huge out for the North Stars, no question about it. Here's Butch Washington, who popped up to first base back in the second inning, or in the third inning, I should say. 2 out, bases loaded in the first pitch. And that one looked pretty good, but taken for ball one. Three, 2 North Stars. White Sox, the bases loaded, foul back to the screen. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Butch Washington. Joel Garcia hoping for a chance on deck. You're watching the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on apnvideo.com. The pitch. Popped him up straight back. That's going to be out of play. The inning started, Corey Evans a line drive base hit. Then Chris Mata reached on an error by the center fielder of the North Stars to put runners at first and second. Alvarez struck out, but then Raygoza lined a 2-run double down the left field line to make it a 3-1 ball game. After a hit batsman, Larry Hernandez walked in a run. That's high for a ball, 2-1. Check that, 2-2. And then Adrian just popped up to the catcher on a nice play by Lippert behind the plate. Slider, and the count runs full. I'll tell you what, I think DeCalvo's got to I think he's got to go with the high heat here. I mean, you're in a lot of trouble here. You got the bases loaded. The lead has been cut from 3-0 to 3-2. And I would expect it here. The 3-2 pitch, runners go, and it's fouled off into the first base dugout occupied by the Minnesota North Stars. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 4th inning. Another payoff pitch. The runners go, and strike 3 called, and he can't believe it. And that'll retire the side. Big strikeout on a borderline pitch. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning from the 33rd Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. Minnesota 3, Tucson 2. Tempe Diablo Stadium as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. So the North Stars scored 3 times in the bottom half of the third inning, but Tucson comes right back. They get 2 runs in the top of the fourth inning, and we've got a ball game. 3-2 is our score. Ground ball to the shortstop, and a nice job of knocking that one down and corralling it and throwing perfectly on to first base for out number 1. So Ernie Alvarez takes care of Arthur Nunez. Chandler McLean will be the next hitter. Lefty versus lefty in the fourth inning of work for Kevin Patrick, who really struggled in that third inning. He walked 2. He gave up 2 hits. Big hit was Wayrock's 2-run single and a ground ball back to the mound. This is a foul ball. Chandler, a fly-out victim to right field, his first and only time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Three-two North Stars here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And a changeup lifted high in the air down the right field line. Long run, and this ball is going to be caught. What a fine, fine defensive play right down the line in front of the railing. Outstanding catch out there, if that is still. Now let's see if we can get the number out there.
Now batting, number 45, Mike Shaner.
Not sure if they've done any defensive changes. We're not privy to some of that information. And here's a ground ball to the right side. Nice job by the second baseman who throws him out to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning. A quick inning for Kevin Patrick. And we're heading to the 5th inning of play. And a close one. In the 33rd annual Men's Senior Baseball League, Minnesota 3, Tucson 2.
Now batting, number 13, Joel Garcia.
Garcia to start things off, home half of the 5th inning here for the Tucson White Sox. Garcia 0 for 1, grounded to shortstop back in the 3rd inning. 3-2 in favor of the home team, the Minnesota North Stars in the all-white uniforms. In the air to center field. Dan drifts over. He's under it, and he's got it out number one. Well, Brandon Casa de Calvo out there for his fifth inning of work. Pitched dominant baseball through the first 3 innings, but got into some trouble. He hit a batter, gave up a double, a single, and walked a batter. And both pitchers, because of their lack of control in the innings in which, as that ball hit the bat of the hitter, which is Michael Perez, who had a base hit, but their lack of control came back to haunt both starting pitchers in the 2 innings in which they gave up runs. North Stars got 3 in the third, and the White Sox got 2 in the fourth. Perez is 1 for 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's out of play, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch, and this one is looped to the shortstop, and he misjudged it, plays it on a hop. The high throw to first in time as Schultz goes to Carter, 2 down.
Now batting number 22, Rafael Bonanno.
Now Bajarano. He's first pitch hacking, fouls it out of play, 0-1. He struck out back in the 3rd inning to end that 3rd inning. 6 strikeouts now in total for Brandon Casa de Calvo. And a bouncing ball, first base side. That was awfully close to being a fair ball. In fact, I thought it might have hit the backside of that first base bag, but the quality umpire says no, that's a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes on the left-handed hitting Rafael Bajarano. Expect some high heat here from Casa de Calvo. And a high drive down the right field line. Paul giving chase and out of play. You're probably wondering why he stopped and almost was a little fearful. That is a concrete barrier down that right field line. You do not want to go into that. I know there's some padding up there, but there would be absolutely no give. You could really mess yourself up, so Paul elects not to try to reach over the railing. So here's another 0-2 pitch, and it is popped up and playable for Casa de Calvo. He takes care of business and retires the side. We head to the top of the 6th inning in this 33rd annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. 3-2 Minnesota over the Tucson White Sox. All right, we head now to the bottom half of inning number 5.
Batting for the North Stars, number 77, Garrett Mizell.
Last hitter in the starting lineup for Matt Carter is Garrett Moselle, who bounced out 4-3 back in the inning in which the Minnesota North Stars scored 3 times. One ball and one strike to the leadoff hitter and the final hitter in the lineup here for Minnesota. Pohanka is on deck. That's low, 2-1. Minnesota got 3 runs in the third. Tucson scored twice in the top of the 4th inning. Bottom half of inning number 5. The breaking ball by Kevin Patrick, now in his 5th inning of work as the starting pitcher for Tucson. Evens the count in the 2-2 pitch, and that ball got him. So the leadoff hitter is aboard as he gets hit by the pitch. An inning in which the North Stars would love to get maybe an insurance run or two, as Ryan Pohanka, the leadoff hitter today, who walked and scored back in the third, and he's 0 for 1.
Number 55, Ryan Pohanka.
The North Stars second baseman takes a strike, 0-1. The runner at first base is Garrett Moselle. The left-hander kicks and deals. Runner goes. Pitch is taken for a strike and no chance to get him. A successful stolen base. And Garrett Moselle has the second stolen base of the day for the North Stars, and they've got a big insurance run sitting out there at second base. No balls and 2 strikes the count on Ryan Pohanka. And a liner back a second, and this ball's going to drop in for a hit. The runner coming around third. It was bobbled, and the runner will score to make it 4-3. RBI single by Ryan Pohanka. And it's 4-3 Minnesota here in the bottom half of inning number 5. Mike Lippert has walked, he has singled, he has scored a run. Done a nice job catching his starting pitcher, Brandon Casa de Calvo. In fact, both catchers have done a great job. High fastball taken for a ball, and the stolen base attempt not in time. That was a rough slide out there by Ryan. Third stolen base of the day. And it's 1 ball and no strikes on the Minnesota North Star catcher, Mike Lippert. The second baseman is Chris Mata. I think I said earlier that it was Nara out in right, Joel Nara, but the second baseman is Chris Mata. Nara, who made that fine catch down the right field line after a long run. If you look at the second baseman out there, he's got a little shaken up on that hard slide by Ryan Pohanka just a moment ago. So bottom half of the 5th inning, Minnesota with a 4-2 lead. They got a runner at second base, still nobody out. The left-hander looks in for the sign, and here is the 1-0 pitch, and Lippert squares the bunt, taking a strike all the way to even the count at 1-1. The left-hander sights a sign. He's delivering the 1-1. The runner started to go, and the catcher came out of his crouch and may have cost his pitcher a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitting Mike Lippert. As I mentioned, he is 1 for 1. He is also singled and scored, as his Minnesota North Stars lead it 4-2 here, batting here in the bottom of the 5th. Casas is waiting on deck for the North Stars. Runner takes his lead at second. A lot of movement out there. Shortstop maybe trying to pull off that play that we used to practice all the time, that daylight play. It's a timing play to try to pick that runner off second. That's way out of play. A towering drive that goes right over the Marucci bat. And just a reminder to go to the MSBL website every day for the Marucci Big Play of the Day. We have one up there each and every day of the Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. Check your newsletter. Check your daily news. The Marucci Big Play of the Day. Ball 4. Walks have really haunted Kevin Patrick. That is his 5th walk. He has also hit a batter. And still nobody out. And you wonder, now Tucson, the White Sox, as Casasa comes to the plate, and the first pitch to him is in there for a strike, 0-1. They have 2 games still left to play after this one. So you got to wonder what their bullpen situation is, who they've got going for the last 2 games. Minnesota only plays once after today. So you know if they get 7, 8, 9 innings out of Casa de Calvo, they ought to be sitting pretty good. There is no activity in the bullpen. For the White Sox and the manager for them, Paul Warman, you wonder if this is a game in which they're going to stick with Kevin Patrick for a while to eat up some innings. Here's a hard hit ball to right field, and the catch is made out there by Nara. No, he dropped the ball. Here comes a runner around third, and that one's airmailed, backed up nicely by Patrick. They're at second and third. That'll make it a 5-2 ball game on a long hit by Dan Casasa. That's going to be an error on the right fielder. No RBI. Second run of the inning scores, and runners are at second and third. So 2 runs have come across here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now batting number 7, Mike Cuellar.
So now Minnesota with a chance to put some room between them and the Tucson White Sox. Mike Wayrock, had the 2-run double and fouls it straight back. I think this one's out of play, and it is. Mike has gone 1 for 2 with a 2-run single in the third. 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's 5-3 North Stars over the White Sox. Two balls and 1 strike with Matt Carter on deck. Wayrock at the plate, big open stance. And he lines it into left field. That's going to be a base hit, and 2 runs are going to score, and it's 7-3 in favor of the Minnesota North Stars on a 2-run single by Mike Wayrock. He has 4 RBIs to lead all players, and now the question, as activity begins to occur down the left field line occupied by the White Sox, just how long are you going to stay with Kevin Patrick in this really a pivotal game for both teams in this 35 and over Cactus Division World Series? 7-2 is the score. You got a runner at first base. So a pair of 2-run singles for Mike Wayrock. And the batter is going to be Matt Carter. Ball 1 to the manager, Matt Carter, who has walked and grounded to second, but that ground out produced the 3rd run of the inning back in the 3rd inning for Minnesota. So 4 runs have come across here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Minnesota, with their biggest lead of the game, leads it 7-2. Two balls and no strikes. I would say this is the last batter that Kevin Patrick is going to face. There is still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's been a very long inning for this defense. And that's a strike called. 2-1 the count on Matt Carter. Lefty versus lefty. And the pitch as the runner goes, it's high and tight, and the throwdown will be tardy. 4 stolen bases on the day for the Minnesota North Stars, and they got another runner in scoring position. They have scored 4 times already here in the 5th and lead it 7-2. Now the pitch. Fouled back, and the count goes full. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Coming to you from Tempe Diablo Stadium. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, 4 runs in. Carter looking for his first base hit of the ball game, and the lefty delivers. And it's grounded hard. It eats up the first baseman, but he stays on it. That's an outstanding play by the first baseman, and there is now the first out of the inning, but the runner moves to third.
Now batting, number 31, Reyes.
Three unassisted if you're scoring at home. Here's Priamo Reyes with a chance to drive in the fifth run of the inning for the Minnesota North Stars. The left-hander sights a sign. Here's the pitch. That one bounces up there, but does not get away far enough for the catcher, from the catcher. Corey Evans, good job. 1 ball, 1 strike on the right-handed hitter. And here's the pitch. And it's hit to the shortstop. Nice play by Alvarez. And the low throw, too low to scoop out, and that'll be a throwing error on the shortstop. That's the second error of the inning. And now runners are at first and second, still only one man out, and the batter is Arthur Nunez. Well, if you're wondering how all these runs came across, a big 2-run single by Mike Wayrock. But you've had a hit batsman, a single, a walk, an error, a 2-run single, another error. So walks and errors have been a big key. And Kevin Patrick has thrown a lot of pitches. And I thought maybe the last guy he was going to face might have been Matt Carter. First and third, 1 out. Ray has good speed at first base. And you got a runner at third. First and third, they got the runner hung up. And here comes the runner home. They get him at second. No, he's safe at second. And the runner comes in from third. Reyes will be credited with the 5th stolen base of the day. And Minnesota has an 8-2 lead. I think we're going to get a little bit of an argument here from the manager of the Tucson White Sox, Paul Warman. So he's out there discussing that last play. The throw definitely beat the runner. But he took a wide slide and reached in with the right arm, and, well, the umpire said he was safe, and the inning continues for Kevin Patrick and the Tucson White Sox. So still only one man out in the inning, and here is Nunez. Popped him up, third base side. That's going to be out of play. That's going to land about 7 rows deep. Nunez has struck out. He is grounded to short. Fly ball center. Dan on his horse in shallow right center field makes the play and then comes in and throws a BB to third base. Or rather, Perez out in center field. That's the second out of the inning. So Nunez flies out. He is 0 for 3. And now Chandler McLean for the third time. And he has flied to right field both times up. 8-2 North Stars with 2 out, a runner at second here in the bottom of the fifth. That's straight back and out of play, 0-1. Five runs. If you're wondering, of the runs, how many of these are earned? That's going to take a little figuring out. Pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you got to give Kevin Patrick a lot of credit. He's still out there. He's still battling. Two down here in the bottom of the fifth inning. A runner at second base. Lefty on lefty. McLean at the plate. And Patrick is going to have to wait a moment. Three of the 5 runs are earned in this inning. 2 out. The pitch. Fastball called strike. 8-2 North Stars batting out of Minnesota. We're in the 35-plus Cactus Division. And grounded hard. They were guarding the line down that first base line. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chandler McLean. Shane Orr on deck. And you're watching APNvideo.com on our YouTube channel, which is APN, and my complete name, Jeff Lowry. On an absolutely gorgeous day for our national pastime. A 1-2 offering again, and here it is, and it's hammered foul down the right field line. Well, Chandler McLean is really battling and really running up Kevin Patrick's pitch total, which is now at 109. That is a lot of pitches to throw, and we're not even in the 6th inning. If he was in the majors, he would have been taken out probably an inning ago. The pitch outside, 2-2. You just wonder if this will be Kevin Patrick's final inning. But again, not knowing how many innings their bullpen has pitched, this one off the trademark to the shortstop should retire the side. Alvarez with the putout. And a big inning for Minnesota. They score 5. And we're heading to the 6th inning of play. 8-2 Minnesota. This is the 33rd annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on APN. Top of the sixth inning here from Tempe Diablo Stadium, and an 8-2 lead for the Minnesota North Stars in the all-white uniforms. Corey Evans will start things off, and he'll foul it back and out of play. A 5-run bottom half of the fifth inning. For Minnesota, they scored 2 unearned runs. And the big discussion now in this game, Kevin Patrick with a lot of pitches, the starting pitcher for the White Sox, first to pitch, is swung on and missed, and that is a strikeout for out number 1 as Corey Evans, who had a base hit and a run scored back in the fourth inning, goes down here. The 7th strikeout for Casa de Cova. Well, here's Mata. Leadoff hitter, reached on an error and scored in their 2-run fourth. That's the only inning in which they have scored. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. We're in the top of the sixth inning, 8-2 Minnesota. But one of the reasons we were talking about Kevin Patrick, the starting pitcher for the White Sox, still out there, is that Paul Warman, the manager of the White Sox, has another game immediately following this one. So you got the doubleheader. And not that he's conceding this game, but I think he really would like to see just how many innings he can get out of Kevin, because they got to play a little tired next game. They're going to be playing in the heat. By the time that game starts at 12:30 over on field number 2, and they'll be taking on the Knights, it's going to be 90 degrees here, plus. Bouncing ball, foul, first base side. So Ernie Alvarez digging in. 6th inning of work for Casa de Calvo, and the pitch, he struck him out swinging. And just like that, back-to-back strikeouts for Brandon, who now has 8 on the game, 2 down. That was Mata. Now Ernie Alvarez. First pitch. And this one is slapped to the right side. Fielded there by the second baseman, and the throw on to first will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We are heading now to the bottom half of inning number 6 from the World Series in Phoenix. Well, you're getting a look at the new pitcher for the Tucson White Sox, and it's big number 5-1, Butch Washington, as he will take the mound for Kevin Patrick, who went 5 innings and gave up all 8 runs, but not all were earned. 6 earned. Had a couple of strikeouts, but walks were really in the command. He issued 6 free passes in the game, so the left-hander leaves in lieu of Butch Washington. So here's Papa Tacos. And a ground ball to the right side. Nice job by the second baseman. And there's one down. Nice job there by the very athletic Mata. So 1 up and 1 down here for the North Stars. Now the third baseman, Garrett Moselle. Moselle has grounded out to second base. He's been hit by a pitch. He scored a run, and he chops 1 foul. 1 out. We're in the bottom half of, I don't know how we got in the 7th inning. We're in the 6th inning. 8-2 Minnesota. Sorry about the scoreboard there. The windup and the pitch. Tonight's World Series pitching matchup. The Rays battle the Dodgers in Game 2 of the World Series. A wave and a miss, and that is going to be a strikeout. Got him on the breaking ball. 2 down in the inning. And next up here for the Minnesota North Stars, we're going to add a player to the bottom of the order, and it's going to be Patrick Ralston.
If you wouldn't mind, we have a lot of people watching at home from our North. We have like a whole baseball club. So we got like 30, 40 guys watching. If you wouldn't mind, just.
I certainly will.
Can you read what it says?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the North Stars. Number 1 fan Randy and all the Stars watching at home. Ground ball shortstop, and this should retire the side. Alvarez on to first. We'll keep it right here, 8-2 Minnesota. Let's give a quick shout out to the North Stars number 1 fan Randy and all the Stars watching that aren't at the 35 and over World Series. You guys will be here soon. For now, just enjoy and watch today's game. So again, Randy, thank you for being the big fan. And we are heading now to the top of the 7th inning. World Series action here on APN Sports, 8-2 Minnesota. Heading now to the top of the 7th inning, it's been all Minnesota. They lead it by a score of 8-2. And the first pitch is swung on and lifted in the air to left field. And a long run, and the catch is made for out number 1. So Larry Hernandez, who is now in. Again, we apologize. We're not privy to the changes.
Now batting, number 5, Alex Ledesma.
So Rolando is retired on a routine fly ball to left field, and here's Alex Ledesma, who has flied to center field and has walked. A 3-run third, a 5-run fifth for Minnesota, and they lead by 6 as they try to go one game over the 500 mark in this 35 and over Cactus II division play. A loss for the White Sox drops them to 2-3. So, again, this is a very pivotal game for both these clubs. And still out there now in his 7th inning of work, Brandon Casa de Calvo. And here's a ball hit down to first base. And a routine play, 2 down. Got that convenient hop was John Lipinski, who is now in the game. And a special thanks to Lipinski for allowing us to be a part of your World Series experience. 2 down. That play goes 3 unassisted. Larry Hernandez drove in a run back in the 4th inning when he walked with the bases loaded. Of the 2 runs, 1 is earned that Casa de Calvo has given up. He's given up just 3 hits so far. He has hit a batter, and he has walked 1. He has struck out 8 in 6 2/3 innings. He needs a strike here to take care of the 7th inning, and that's going to be back into the seats right side as John gives chase over there. Well, we got the Wild Things waiting to play the next game here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and that is all here in the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Still 8-2 Minnesota. You're watching the MSBL World Series on APN. You're watching APN, apnvideo.com, Arizona's leader in sports video coverage. As we head now to the bottom half of the seventh inning, Minnesota with a commanding 8-2 lead, and now looking at Butch Washington for the second inning in a row. Here's the shortstop, John Schlotz, batting for the first time, and he'll hit one to his opposite number at shortstop, and the long throw in time, out number one. So Alvarez with an error to his credit, but he's made a lot of the routine plays. Now we go back to the top of the order in Polanca. Ryan is flied to center field. He has walked and scored. He has singled in a run and scored after stealing one of the 5 stolen bases for Minnesota in this game. Here's a grounder up the middle. Alvarez, nice play near the bag. Off-balance throw, and no chance. Ryan, with too much speed, has his second consecutive hit. And obviously a threat to steal. And you say, well, you're up 6 runs. Well, if you've been in this tournament long enough, you know that Joe Paul is coming to the plate. You know that a 6-run lead, when the other team's got a couple at bats left, you may want to add a few more insurance runs. Though the way Brandon Casa del Calvo has pitched in this game, you might be okay. Ball 1. Joe Paul is in the right fielder for this team, and first time up for him. He is batting in the place of Mike Lippert. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 out, 1 on. Two balls and no strikes to the Minnesota right fielder. Casas is on deck. Fleet-footed center fielder for this team. Here's a squibbler foul, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now Washington, he's a big guy, no doubt about it. He looks like he's probably 6'4", 6'5", possibly. 2 balls, 1 strike on the right-handed hitting Joe Paul at the plate. Another throw over to first to keep the runner close. I would imagine Minnesota, they've stolen 5 bases. They've had 2 defensive indifferences, which used to be considered a stolen base. And that's low, and it's 3-1. Well, we hope you're enjoying today's broadcast on APN Video. Justin Maxim on camera. Pitch hammered towards short, and it's going to get through for a base hit. It came at a price, because that one's going into the Kinlan pile. That's how we say it back in the hills, Kinlan. So runners are at first and second. Bottom of the 7th inning, Minnesota with an 8-2 lead, looking for more. Dan Casas is now batting for the 4th time. Fielder's choice, walked and scored, reached on an error in the 5th and came around to score, and he has 1 of the 5 stolen bases. First and second, 1 out. And the pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Only 7 hits on the day for Minnesota. They've scored 8 runs. The 0-1 pitch. And just off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's taken low for a ball, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Dan still looking for his first hit of the ball game, with Wayrock on deck, who has driven him 4 with a pair of 2-run singles. Washington would like to get a double play ball right now, and it's not going to be, as that one is roped out into right field for a hit. Coming around third to score the 9th run of the ball game is Polanka, and it is now 9-2. And nobody was covering home plate. Runners will be at first and third, and there's Dan's first hit of the ball game. So a 1-out single to right field. Plates a run and now brings Mike Wayrock to the plate. And all he has done the last 2 times is driven in 2 with singles back in the 3rd and again in the 5th. So technically he's 2 for 3, a run scored, and 4 runs batted in. And it's 9-2 North Stars here in the bottom of the 7th. And another defensive indifference. And a line shot. Knocked down by the second baseman. He's up with it. He throws. He got him. Nice defensive play out there, but it produces another RBI for the Rock. And it's 10-2 in favor of Minnesota here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nice job by Mata. I mean, this is a guy, I would have to say, one of the premier infielders in this 35 and over Cactus. So here in the bottom of the 7th inning, you got a runner at third base, 2 down. Matt Carter has walked, drove in a run with a ground out, and bounced out first base unassisted. He drives it to right. It could be trouble, but it holds up, and it's going to be caught by Nara to retire the side. But 2 more runs come across for Minnesota. And we go to the 8th inning, 10-2. North Stars on APN's coverage of the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League World Series. Well, you're getting a look at the starting pitcher, Brandon Casa Del Calvo. Del Calvo has went 7 innings. He has thrown 3 hit, 2 run, 1 earned baseball while striking out 9, and he has only walked 1. The totals here in the top of the 8th has Minnesota 10 runs, 10 hits, an error and 7 stranded, 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors and 4 stranded for Tucson. First pitch outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss, and the count evens on Verduzco at 1-1 strike. 11 in a row have been set down by Brandon Casa de Calvo. Chopper foul, and the count goes to 1-2. He has set down the last 11 batters that he has faced. And as we mentioned, he has 9 strikeouts in the contest. Top of the 8th, Minnesota leads it by a score of 10-2. The 1-2 offering and the high heat, and there is number 10. Second time Adrian has struck out against Casa de Calvo, 1 down, and here's Butch Washington, who has thrown 2 innings of a pretty decent baseball. He did give up a couple of runs last inning. First pitch to him is high and tight, ball 1. Butch has popped up to first base. He has been a strikeout victim in the contest. That's inside, 3 balls, 1 strike. The right-hander. And it's high, ball 4, so we got a 1-out walk to Washington. Let's see, he's going to run for himself down there. And here is Joel Garcia, who is grounded to shortstop and flied to center field.
Now batting for the White Sox, number 13, Joel Garcia.
Top of the 8th inning. Garcia looking for his first hit. Runner at first base. And the delivery is high, ball 1. Minnesota scored 3 times in the third. Tucson countered with 2 in the top of the 4th inning, but a 5-run 5th and a 2-run 7th has been the difference. 10-2 in favor of the Minnesota North Stars here in the top of the 8th inning. Manager Matt Carter, I would imagine, would like to see a complete game out of Brandon Casa de Calvo. Eat up a lot of innings in this game. Here's a shot to left field, base hit. So after the leadoff hitter is aboard, or after the leadoff hitter struck out, Washington has walked. Garcia has his team's 4th base hit. And, of course, 12 batters in a row retired by Casa de Calvo has ended here in this inning. First pitch, ball 1. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Michael Perez, who has one of the 4 base hits in the game here for the Sox. Chopper foul, and it's 1-2. Well, with the victory, if Minnesota holds on, they will go to 3-2, and they will drop the White Sox even at 2-2. And here's a ground ball to shortstop, could be 2. They'll go second 1, the throw to first, not in time. Good hustle by Perez. So that'll go as a fielder's choice. Runners will be at first and third. And the batter is going to be Rafael Bajarano. So Schlotz got it started and got the fielder's choice, first and third, 2 out. And I think he did call that, looked like he called it a strike. 0-1 is the count. Popped him up, and this is out of play. We're going to have to get a verification if that last pitch was called or what it was called. Bajarano looking for his first base hit of the ball game. The Tucson White Sox in the black tops trailing the all-white North Stars 10-2. That's high. One ball and 2 strikes, I believe. You got runners at first and third. Needing an out, needing a strike. That one is inside, and now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Verduzco had a strikeout. Washington walked. He's at third. A fielder's choice by Garcia. Perez at first on a fielder's choice, and the 3-2 pitch is high, ball 4. The bases are loaded. Corey Evans now batting. He has a single, a run scored, and he has struck out. And he's going to take a borderline pitch, a called strike. The right-hander sights a sign. He delivers a swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Ready with the next one, and that one is a little low. It gets away from the catcher, and they will make the play. That's strike 3 called, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 left. And we are heading now to the bottom of the 8th inning. All Minnesota, they lead by 8. It's 10-2 on APN. Well, the third inning of work coming up here for Butch Washington as his team failed to score. He was sitting down there at third base hoping that they could knock into that 8-run lead. Well, tonight, Game 2 of the World Series at Globe Life Field. Tampa Bay will go with former Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell. Snell is 2-2 with a .320 earned run average with 19 strikeouts. In the postseason, and he'll be going up against Tony Gonsolin for the Los Angeles Dodgers. After posting a .231 ERA over 9 outings, 8 starts during the regular season, he has allowed 7 runs in 6 2/3, which constitutes a 9.95 earned run average. So if the odds makers have this one as this one's bounced down the first, that'll be a routine play for out number 1. And that was the first at bat for Trevor Todd. So Todd is retired, 3 unassisted. 1 down in the inning and a 10-2 lead for the Minnesota North Stars. In the third inning of work for Washington. And this is Arthur Nunez batting for the 4th time. No balls and 1 strike on the right-hander, looking for his first base hit, looking to get on base for the first time. Well, at least on paper, tonight's World Series, a definite advantage for Blake Snell and the Tampa Bay Rays, looking for their first franchise world championship. They came in the same year in the league as the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a base hit in the left field. Well, Arthur comes through with his first hit of the ball game, and that is hit number 11 for the Minnesotans. First time up for Brett Hughes, batting for Chandler McLean. Washington delivers, and it's in the air and over the third base dugout. We're coming to you from Tempe Diablo Stadium. This is the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. You got the California Wild Things getting set to play some baseball here at Tempe Diablo Stadium next. There goes the runner on the 0-1 pitch. The throw down will not be in time. That is 6 stolen bases. It gets away from the shortstop, and the runner will have to head back to second just ahead of the throw. So a stolen base for Nunez, 7 in total, plus 3 defensive indifferences. And this one is a fly ball into right center field, long run, and the catch is going to be made. Fine play by Perez, and there'll be no relay, and the runner moves to third with 2 out. Good catch out there in center field. So there's 2 down in the inning. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Minnesota trying to add on to that lead. And here's John Lipinski for the first time. Lipinski takes strike, or rather ball 1. Like to see John drive in this run here, his first time up. And a cut on and miss, and the count evens on John at 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, thanks to him for setting up today's broadcast from Tempe Diablo Stadium in the 33rd Annual World Series. Left-handed hitting outfielder up there for the first time. He's got a runner at third, 2 outs. Takes it inside. Well, he's a pitch away from drawing a walk here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Runner at third base. And he grounds one to the first baseman. He kicks it around a little bit, but he'll outrace John to the bag and retire the side. No runs. 1 left. And we go to the top of the 9th inning. The North Stars 3 outs away from a key victory in the 35 Cactus Division. Well, you're getting a look at Brandon Casa de Calvo, and he has pitched 8 strong innings. He has given up 2 runs, 1 of which is earned. He's given up 4 hits. Our 9th inning total is 11 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and 7 stranded for the leading North Stars. 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, and 4 stranded. Make that 5 stranded for the White Sox from Tucson. Nara batting for the first time for Tucson, who trail it 10-2 here in the 9th. And foul ball back. Well, barring an 8-run come from behind by the White Sox, they're going to drop to 2 wins and 2 losses. Here's a ground ball hit to the shortstop. He gets the convenient hop, and a very close play. They just got him 1 down. John Schlotz coming through again. And a nice stretch down there, and a much-needed one by the first baseman, Trevor Todd. I'm telling you, if he did not stretch for that ball, I think the runner beats that out. All right, here's Mata for the 4th time at the plate, and he's looking for his first hit of the ball game. He has struck out twice, reached on an error, and scored. That was in the 4th inning. Going for the complete game, Brandon Casa de Calvo. He has scattered a total of 4 hits in the ball game. And trying to take care of the first hitter in the lineup, Mata, for the White Sox. One out, nobody on. Hammered down the right field line. That's a fair ball. And it's going to get by Paul and roll all the way to the 360 mark. This will be at least a triple. And the ball is still in the outfield, and Mata is in with a 3-base hit with 1 out here in the 9th. Well, that was a rope. Hit number 5. Hit number 5 here in the top of the 9th inning. And now the manager of the White Sox, Paul Warman. Had a chance to talk to him before the game. Very nice guy. Really enjoying his World Series experience. And, you know, you think about all the things that we have had to endure over the last 6 months, and it's great to be here. He hits a fly ball to center field. It's caught. Here's Mata tagging. Here's a long, strong throw from center field, but it's not in time. And Mata will score to cut the deficit to 10-3. Sac fly for the manager of the White Sox. So there's 2 down in the inning, and the last hope is Rolando Regoza, who had an RBI double back in the 4th inning. Way outside, ball 1. Well, we had talked about White Sox starting pitcher Kevin Patrick up around 120 pitches. And Casa de Calvo is right in that same area, though he went much further in the game than the starting pitcher for the White Sox. That's a strike. Outside that last pitch, though, he looks strong. 2-1. Again, special thanks to John Lipinski and Paul Warman for arranging today's broadcast. And here's a pop-up on the infield. The first baseman is under it, and Trevor Todd takes care of business. The ball game is over, and a 10-3 victory here for the Minnesota North Stars, and they get their record back over the 500 mark at 3 wins, 2 losses with 1 game left to go. The White Sox dropped to 2-2, and they have a game coming up on Tempe number 2 in about 45 minutes. Well, stay with us. We'll have more from Tempe, Arizona in just a moment. This is APN. Our final score behind the complete game performance of Brandon Casa de Calvo, Minnesota 10 and Tucson 3. All right, welcome back to Tempe Diablo Stadium, where the Minnesota North Stars come up with a big victory. They go to 3-2 by way of record, and they defeat the Tucson White Sox by a final score of 10-3. And the star of the game's coming up here. I'm going to give you this microphone, and we're going to get you over here live. Okay, here he is, Brandon Calvo. Tremendous job. You go 9 innings, complete game. You scattered 5 hits. You had 11 strikeouts, and congratulations. This was a pivotal game. We were talking about the entire broadcast. How you feel?
Feel good. I mean, it was on short rest, so I pitched 6 innings 2 days ago, and I don't usually pitch on every other day, and hopefully I'll be back on Friday if we make it through with the 3 wins. And
wow,
yeah.
So how does your pitching stack up for the rest of the week? You got one round robin game left.
Yep, one round robin game left. That should be tomorrow. If we win that, we should be in with a 4-2 record. If 3-3, it'd kind of be up in the air, but we got another starter for that game, and then my next game would probably be Friday.
So you'd be in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
Then. Okay. What's it been like? I mentioned just briefly, with all the stuff that we've been going on in this country the last 6 months, to come out here and play in a major league stadium like this.
It's awesome. I mean, this is my first year out here for for this tournament. I used to come out here and watch spring training back when I was a high schooler, and yeah, it's fun to actually come and play on the field. I used to chase the players for signatures back when I was younger. So.
Oh yeah, like most of us. All right, Brandon Casa de Calvo, 9 innings of 5 hit. He gave up 2 earned runs.
Yep.
And 11 strikeouts. Very impressive. And the final score here from Tempe Diablo, Minnesota wins it 10-3. So for Justin Maxim and our entire crew, this is Jeff Lowry saying so long from the winter home of the Angels.